From his first days of power, Hitler knew that he had to bring the children of Germany under his control. The future of the Third Reich rested on their shoulders. Hitler wanted to produce a generation of dedicated and ruthless Nazis. A generation who could realize his dream of conquering the world.
Wir wollen nicht der Letzte sein in diesem Konzert der Welt, sondern wir wollen mit die Ersten sein. Das ist unser Gelöbnis. Und dass dieser Wunsch in Erfüllung geht, seid ihr mir verantwortlich, denn in euch liegt die Zukunft der Nation und des Deutschen Reichs.
The new Germany was to be forged in an organization where boys and girls would learn to dedicate their lives to Hitler. This movement was the Hitler Youth. The Hitler Youth would expand until it controlled every aspect of German children's lives.
We suddenly felt different from before. We were important and had a mission.
We were like soldiers. We were actually sworn in. Even though we were only 14, we swore to give our lives for the Führer, the people and the fatherland.
German schools quickly fell under Nazi control. In Hitler's classrooms, children learned the art of war. Even in the kindergarten, they were taught racial theory. Graphic picture books branded the Jews a dirty and poisonous race. SS doctors measured and graded children to weed out the undesirables.
Georg Weber, Augenfarbe 2a.
There's a saying, every little drop wears away a stone. And we were like stones that water dripped onto slowly, until we believed it was true, and everything was okay.
In the Third Reich, everyone had their function. For girls, it was to bear children. Special classes would mold perfect Nazi mothers. Boys were sent to Hitler Youth boot camps, where they were taught to fight and prepared for war. They would be a new breed of German man. The Hitler Youth movement charmed Germany's children and seduced them to its cause. By the time Hitler took the nation to war, millions had joined its ranks. They learned total devotion to Hitler and would ultimately be asked to sacrifice everything for their master. This is the story of Hitler's children. In 1938, Germany stood at the brink of war with Europe. The highly disciplined Hitler Youth were ready to die for their fatherland. They had come a long way from their roots. The Hitler Youth movement was founded 16 years earlier in 1922, when Hitler was still the leader of an extremist fringe party. The first members were a group of boys who were too young to join the party proper. Throughout the 1920s, the Hitler Youth were branded as street brawlers and vandals. It was only as the Nazis struggled for electoral success at the end of the decade that they began to develop into a serious force. The transformation was the work of a young and ambitious Nazi student, Baldur von Schirach.
deutsche Zukunft. Wir sind das Deutschland von morgen.
Von Schirach set about completely restructuring the Hitler Youth. He concentrated on attracting the middle class, as Hitler had done with the party as a whole. Within a year, von Schirach had assembled 70,000 cheering boys at a rally in Potsdam.
That rally was a dream come true for us youngsters. Whereas we normally met in small groups, we assembled there for the first time en masse, and our numbers demonstrated what a political force we had become.
Ein Stück politische Bekenntnismacht.
Und meine lieben Jungs, ich glaube an die unbändige Kraft des Nationalsozialismus, die alles vernichtet, was sich ihr entgegenstemmt.
When Hitler came to power on the 30th of January 1933, he promised an end to the unemployment and poverty that had plagued the country. In its place, he would create a proud new Germany. It was a vision that struck a chord with the nation's youth.
I saw all the progress in Germany. People getting work, the flags, processions, torch-lit parades. We were excited by it. It was like a mass hypnosis. It put me under its spell.
The highlight of the Nazi calendar was Hitler's birthday. The 20th of April was declared a national holiday. Every year, the Hitler Youth initiated a new crop of 10-year-olds as a gift to the Führer.
Ich war 10 Jahre alt.
When I was a 10-year-old, the papers announced that the German people were giving all 10-year-olds to the Führer. We were actually being given as a present to the Führer.
Führer geschenkt.
Boys were sworn into the Hitler Youth in a solemn membership ritual.
Dort auf diesem großen Sportplatz.
The entire troop was assembled on the sports ground. All the platoons lined up in file and publicly swore an oath of allegiance. I remember the words. I promise always to do my duty in the Hitler Youth.
Immer meine Pflicht zu tun.
Meine Pflicht zu tun. In Liebe und Treue zum Führer und unserer Fahne.
The regime was determined to attract the young. Boys couldn't wait to join the Jungvolk, the Hitler Youth Wing for 10 to 14-year-olds.
We boys felt somehow elated. Suddenly, we mattered.
Verspreche, alle Zeit.
In the initiation ceremonies, thousands of children dedicated their lives to Hitler.
From the local party heads to the junior boys leaders, we were now part of one big community.
In Liebe und Treue.
The main part of the Hitler Youth was for boys, but there was a separate wing for girls.